Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do another Supercoach video today, and I'm actually going to make some changes to the team that I did, my initial team the other day, and I'll also explain why I picked some of the players I did. So what we'll do, we'll start off with explaining why I picked some of the players. We've got Harry Grant at hooker. No need to explain there. Last year he was probably one of the best hookers. Sam Verrills, he was actually the hooker for the Roosters while Jake Friend was injured, and then he actually got an ACL injury or some sort of injury at the start of last year, so he was looking like he was actually going to be the hooker, but because of the injury he missed out. So I picked him because I thought he might make his way into the side. Junior Paulo, I just always pick him in my team. He flies under the radar and gets big scores, or not big scores, average scores like 60s and 70s consistently. He never really busts out and gets big scores, and he doesn't really get low scores either. But at the tail end of last year, he did get 2 weeks in a row, I think, pretty low scores. I think he got injured in one of the third last games, and then he just had poor scores. Aiden Fanor-Blake, same thing as Junior Paulo, flies under the radar. He actually gets big scores, but then he does get a couple of low scores as well. This Ben Murdoch-Masila, he actually was on fire for Tonga in the World Cup, and he was playing really good in England, so I thought for 330 he could go in the team, and he's dual position. This Stefano, he's had big raps on him for the last couple of years. He was at Parramatta last year but didn't play. I think played maybe a couple of games off the bench, but hopefully he starts at the Tigers. So for cheap, he's in my side. Tamalolo, absolutely a gun. Mitch Barnett, I reckon, phenomenal player. He is just so consistent. Same as Jazz. These two, I think, are just really consistent players, and I want them in my team. Raymond Fatali Mariner was kind of similar to those two players. He flew under the radar last year. He was absolutely going great guns. I didn't have him in my side, so I thought this year I'd put him in. Corey Harawira-Naera, hopefully he gets a starting spot from John Bateman leaving. That's what I'm hoping. So he could go up in price by 200 grand easy. This kid, I don't even know how to say his name, Kiana Kalamatangi. He is just phenomenal. So hopefully he gets more minutes and he goes up in price. Nathan Cleary, halfback. Sam Walker, a rookie. Hopefully he gets a start. Jake Averillo, hopefully he either starts at 5'8" or centre. Even if he starts at centre, I'm probably going to keep him at 5'8", just because he is a quality player and he can score big. I think he got injured, a real bad back injury or something last year, or something happened last year. He was playing really good, then got injured. Josh Schuster, hopefully he starts at 5'8". He's got lots of raps on him. Josh Mansour, I'm keeping in my side because the Bunnies have they've got a stacked team, and that left edge, if he's on the left edge outside Cody Walker, Campbell Graham, I reckon he is going to outscore what he did last year. So big things for Josh Mansour. Plus, he's a Rabbitohs junior, so he played for the Rabbitohs way back in the day, so he's kind of come home. Cody Ramsey absolutely went great guns in his games last year, so hopefully the trend continues. Charlie Staines, same thing for him. So Cody Ramsey, Charlie Staines had great games. This dude here, Matthew Timoko, I've just heard that he could start because Jared Croker is out injured for the first couple of rounds. We've got the Hammer here, same as these guys. I'm hoping he has a bigger year than last year. Jed Cartwright played really good in the last couple of games for the Rabbitohs. At the tail end, they put him in for centre, and he actually played pretty good. This Eden Gebby, his name, he was at the Rabbitohs last year in the Nines. He absolutely was on fire, but I don't think he got a start last year with the Rabbitohs because their back line is so stacked. We got Latrell, who was absolutely on fire mid-season last year and then got injured. and I was hoping he would come back and continue that trend. And testing Nui hopefully gets the fullback position. Okay, so now we're going to get into who I'm going to change, and that's my son down there watching some TV. So I'm actually getting rid of Ben Murdoch, and I'm putting in Zach Sadler because of a dual position, so I can switch him around. I'm actually going to get rid of Raymond Fatali Mariner and get Tino. So, and that way I've got the flexibility of moving these around if someone gets injured. Aiden Fanua-Blake, I don't know how he's going to go at the Warriors, so I'm going to put in Josh Papali, who has actually been training for a fight, and I reckon he's lost a lot of kilos. Then we are going to keep those guys. I'm going to get rid of Latrell because I just don't know how his match fitness. I'm also going to get rid of Cartwright, and we're going to get Hayes Dunster because he did play for the Eels last year, I'm pretty sure. I think, did he? Oh, he didn't. Must have been the year before that, but hopefully he gets a start. Okay, then we are going to get rid of Taumalolo, and I'm going to bring in Sean Ballor for the Tigers, who had a blinder when he came up against the Eels, and he actually does look like a really good player. People have been saying Ricky Latelli as well, but I can't fit Ricky Latelli into my side. I'd rather have Kolomatangi and Harawira Naira. I'm pretty sure Ricky Latelli is about 260 or something like that. Yeah, 270. So 30 grain difference. I'd rather have these two in my side. So then we're going to get fullback, and instead of Latrell, we're getting Tedesco. Now let me see how I'm looking. And now the last trade I'm going to do is Sam Verrill's out, and I'm getting Cameron McGuinness in. I know people have been talking about Jake Simpkin. I just don't know what's going to happen with the Tigers hookers, and with this dual flexibility, I've got Jazz and Cameron, so pretty much got two hookers playing each week, no matter what happens. So if he gets injured, I can push him up. So I know I haven't got Taumalolo, which is massive, but I've managed to get Tedesco in. Got Cleary. People have been saying Munster in the 5/8s. I know I don't have a quality 5/8, but them the breaks. I got two good hookers. I think Barnett, Jazz, and Tino in the second row is pretty good. Papali and Junior Paulo. Cleary, Schuster if he plays, Avarillo, Mansour, Staines, Ramsey, the Hammer, and then Tedesco. But I'm sure in the next weeks to come, when rookies start getting announced that they're in starting sides, this could all change. But it's looking a lot better than what it was last week when I did my first initial pick without actually doing any studying or anything like this. So I've actually done a little bit of looking into this. The only doubt I now have with Cameron McGuinness is he's actually signed with the Sharks after the end of this year. So I don't know if he's going to be starting at hooker this year, and the Dragons might try another hooker. But I'm going to risk this. I think I'm happy with how it looks. Like I said, dual position with these two. Dual position there. And what I would really like is, I got the dual flexibility here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here that I can switch to there. I don't have any wiggle room here in the halves or 5/8, so that's my only dilemma. Alright, leave a comment and some feedback. I've really enjoyed the feedback that people have put in the last video. Like I said, it's only early days, and there'll be a lot of news coming out in the next couple of weeks. Injury updates, how people are coming along. Like I said, Victor Radley was on my list as well. I think if he starts, I was going to actually have him up here. So where's Victor Radley? He's only 445, so it leaves another 260 in the bank where I could have then upgraded somewhere, got rid of the hammer and put in Campbell Graham would have been nice. Oh, Campbell Graham's right there, there you go. So I think the left edge of Souths are going to be on fire. So that's a possibility too, Victor Radley, but it just depends on if he starts, where Cameron McGuinness starts. But for now, yeah, it's a possibility of those two sides. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.